Every word you speak is a vibration that can rewrite the story you're living. Imagine the moment you call yourself a coder, a dreamer, or stuck. Each label sends a pulse through your mind like a radio frequency, tuning you into a specific channel of possibility. What if I told you that the simple act of naming yourself could bend the very timeline of your life? In the next few minutes, we'll uncover the hidden power behind every label you carry and show you how to flip the dial from limited to limitless. Ready to hear the frequency of your own identity? Let's turn the volume up. I'm a researcher who has spent years exploring how language shapes neural pathways and how those pathways, in turn, shape reality. The core idea we'll explore is what I call the frequency of identity, the notion that every label you hold emits a specific vibrational pattern that either expands or contracts the timeline you experience. Think of two parallel scenes. On the left, a person walks down a dim hallway. The wall is stamped with the phrase, "I'm not good enough." On the right, the same person steps into bright light. The wall is glowing with the words, "I'm a relentless creator." One path feels heavy, the other feels alive. That is the power of the frequency you choose. First, let's look at how words become neural blueprints. When you hear or utter a word, a cascade of activity lights up language centers, mirror neurons, and the prefrontal cortex. Repeating a self-affirmation like, "I am capable," strengthens those circuits, making the brain more likely to fire in ways that support confidence and action. It's like a radio dial. Each word tunes you to a particular channel of thought. When the channel is set to victim, the signal is weak, static, and the timeline stalls. When it's set to problem solver, the signal is strong, clear, and the timeline propels forward. I remember a time when I called myself just a programmer and opportunities felt out of reach. When I shifted the label to architect of digital experiences, doors opened that I hadn't even imagined. The lesson is simple. Every word you repeat is a blueprint for your future. Choose wisely. Now consider the trap of empty, overused labels, those cliches that have been stripped of personal meaning. Words like lazy, blessed, or just a regular person become background noise after repeated exposure, a phenomenon known as semantic saturation. Their emotional charge fades, and they no longer carry any energetic weight. When you keep feeding your mind with these hollow phrases, you drain the frequency you could be broadcasting. A famous athlete once publicly called herself just a regular person, and her performance plateaued for months. The moment she reclaimed a powerful self-definition, "I am a champion of relentless improvement," her results surged. The pattern repeats across countless lives. Empty labels keep you stuck. Purposeful labels propel you forward. Here's where the shift happens. If you replace a stale label with one that is linked to art, science, or strength, you summon a deeper memory of power. Imagine redefining yourself not as a writer, but as a storyteller who bends reality with language. That extra layer of meaning connects you to the neural circuits of creativity, curiosity, and resilience. When you name your reality with sovereignty and inspiration, you invoke the highest virtues of your timeline, allowing you to step into moments you previously thought were out of reach. At this point, you might be wondering how to start this transformation in your own life. First, become aware of the labels you use most often. Write them down, notice how they make you feel, and rate their emotional charge from flat to vibrant. Second, craft new definitions that fuse a core identity with a quality of power. Think engineer of possibility, artist of solutions, or guardian of my own future. Finally, repeat these new definitions daily, aloud and in writing, until they light up the same neural pathways that once echoed the old, limiting words. This simple three-step ritual rewires your brain, shifts your frequency, and opens a wider timeline of opportunity. What do you think about the power of the words you choose? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious about the labels you've been carrying. If this insight is resonating with you, smash that like button and consider subscribing so we can keep exploring how language reshapes our reality. Together. Now, let's go a little deeper into how you can actually harness this frequency in a way that feels both grounded and exhilarating. Imagine your mind as a vast ocean of possibilities, each wave shaped by the words you whisper to yourself. When you introduce a new resonant label, you're essentially sending a ripple that travels through the entire sea, shifting currents, bringing fresh tides of opportunity to the shore of your lived experience. First, let's talk about the subtle art of listening to the inner dialogue. Most of us run through our days on autopilot, repeating phrases that have become second nature. You might hear yourself say, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm just a follower," without even noticing the weight those words carry. The first step in the transformation is to become a conscious observer of that inner chatter. Set aside a quiet moment each morning, perhaps while you sip your coffee or sit on a balcony, and simply notice the labels that surface. Write them down on a piece of paper or in a digital note. As you write, pay attention to the tone. Does it feel heavy, like a stone in your chest, or light, like a feather drifting on a breeze? This awareness alone begins to untangle the knot of habitual language. Once you have that list, the next phase is to evaluate the emotional charge of each label. Give each word a rating in your mind, ranging from flat to vibrant. A flat label feels dull, lifeless, and offers no spark of inspiration. A vibrant label, on the other hand, lights up a part of you that feels alive, motivated, and ready to act. This rating helps you prioritize which words need immediate replacement and which already serve a purpose. You'll often discover that some phrases you thought were neutral actually hold a hidden burden, while others may already be empowering. Recognize those gems and let them act as stepping stones in your journey. Now comes the creative part. Crafting new definitions that fuse your core identity with a quality of power. This is where you tap into the richness of art, the rigor of science, and the resilience of strength. Think of yourself not merely as a writer, but as a storyteller who bends reality with language. Or consider the engineer who doesn't just build bridges, but becomes an architect of possibility, weaving together imagination and structure. Maybe you're a teacher who transforms into a catalyst of curiosity, igniting the flames of learning in every mind you encounter. The key is to blend the familiar with the extraordinary, giving your self-definition a multidimensional texture that resonates on many levels of your brain. When you speak these new labels aloud, you're doing more than just reciting a mantra. You're activating the same neural pathways that once echoed the old limiting words, but now you're injecting them with fresh, high-frequency energy. Studies in neuroplasticity have shown that repeated verbal affirmation can strengthen synaptic connections, effectively rewiring the brain's architecture. By consistently pairing your new definition with a visual image, a bright lighthouse, a soaring eagle, a vibrant mosaic, you create a multi-sensory imprint that makes the new frequency even more potent. This is why many high-performing athletes and visionary entrepreneurs incorporate visualization into their daily affirmations. The mind receives a double dose of signal, reinforcing the shift. Let's walk through a practical 3-step ritual you can adopt right now. Step 1. Awareness. As we discussed, notice and jot down the labels you use most often. Step 2. Transformation. Choose one label that feels stale and replace it with a powerful, art-infused definition. Write this new phrase on a sticky note and place it somewhere you'll see it multiple times a day: on your bathroom mirror, on your laptop, even on your refrigerator door. Step 3. Repetition. Set a timer for a few minutes each morning and evening and read the new definition aloud, feeling the words vibrate through your chest. Imagine each syllable as a pulse of light that expands outward, touching every corner of your being. Over the course of a week, you'll begin to sense a subtle shift, perhaps a spark of confidence when you face a challenging task, or a newfound curiosity when you encounter an unfamiliar problem. These are the early signs that your frequency is being retuned. You might wonder why this works on such a deep level. The answer lies in the interplay between language and the brain's predictive coding system. Our brains constantly generate expectations about the world, and language is one of the most direct ways we inform those expectations. When you label yourself as a champion of relentless improvement, your brain starts to anticipate scenarios where you can demonstrate improvement, thereby priming you to notice opportunities that align with that narrative. In contrast, a label like "I'm stuck" signals to the brain that obstacles are insurmountable, leading it to filter out possibilities and reinforce a static state. By deliberately choosing empowering language, you rewrite the brain's prediction algorithms, opening doors that were previously hidden behind the veil of self-imposed limitation. Let's explore a few real-world examples that illustrate this principle in action. Consider the story of a software developer who spent years calling herself just a coder. She felt confined to debugging and routine tasks, never daring to pitch her own ideas. After attending a workshop on identity frequency, she began to describe herself as a creator of digital experiences. Within months, she started proposing innovative features, leading a small team, and eventually launching a product that earned industry recognition. A shift in self-label altered not only how she saw herself, but also how colleagues and managers perceived her capabilities. Another case involves a musician who labeled herself a struggling artist. The phrase carried a sense of defeat, and she found herself canceling gigs out of fear. When she reframed her identity as a conduit of transformative sound, she began to approach each performance as a sacred act of sharing energy. The confidence that blossomed from this new label attracted larger audiences, collaborations, and even offers from record labels. The underlying frequency of her new definition resonated with the surrounding ecosystem, pulling in resources that matched her elevated self-image. These stories are not isolated anecdotes. They echo a pattern observed across diverse fields, from athletes to entrepreneurs, from teachers to caregivers. The common thread is the deliberate choice of language that aligns with a higher vibrational state. When you consciously adopt such language, you create a feedback loop. The brain receives the new signal, adjusts its expectations, and then the external world responds in kind, confirming the shift. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but one that you design with intention rather than leaving to chance. Now, let's address a common concern. What if the new labels feel fake or forced at first? It's natural for the mind to resist change, especially when old patterns have been reinforced over years. The trick is to pair the verbal shift with embodied actions that support the new identity. If you claim to be a guardian of your own future, start by setting small, concrete goals that protect your long-term well-being, perhaps a daily meditation routine, a habit of reading a few pages of a growth-focused book, or a weekly review of your progress toward a personal project. By aligning behavior with language, you give the new label legitimacy, allowing the brain to accept it as authentic. Over time, the emotional resonance of the phrase will deepen, moving from a forced mantra to an intrinsic truth. Another powerful technique is to enlist the support of others. Share your new definition with a trusted friend, mentor, or community group. When someone else acknowledges and reinforces your chosen label, it amplifies the frequency, creating a social resonance that further embeds the shift. Think of it like tuning an instrument in a choir. Each voice adds richness and stability to the overall harmony. So don't hesitate to vocalize your intention, perhaps in a short video, a journal entry, or a conversation over coffee. The act of externalizing your new identity turns it into a shared reality, making it harder to revert to old, limiting patterns. Let's also explore the role of storytelling in cementing these new frequencies. Humans are wired to remember narratives more vividly than abstract concepts. When you frame your self-definition as a story, a hero's journey, a quest for mastery, a saga of transformation, you tap into the brain's natural storytelling circuitry. For instance, rather than simply saying, "I am an innovator," you might craft a short narrative. "I am the explorer who navigates uncharted ideas," turning curiosity into breakthroughs that shape tomorrow. This narrative not only clarifies the essence of your identity, but also provides a memorable script that you can replay whenever doubt arises. The more you rehearse this story, the stronger the neural pathways become, solidifying the frequency you wish to emit. In addition to verbal practice, consider incorporating physical movement that mirrors your new identity. Our bodies and minds are deeply interconnected. Kinesthetic cues can reinforce mental states. If you see yourself as an architect of possibility, stand tall, adopt an open posture, and perhaps even sketch out visual plans for your goals. If you identify as a guardian of your own future, practice protective gestures, like placing your hand over your heart while affirming your intention. These embodied actions act as anchors, grounding the abstract frequency in tangible experience. Now that we've unpacked the theory, the science, and the practical steps, let's synthesize everything into a concise roadmap you can start using tonight. First, take a quiet moment to list the 3 most frequent labels you use about yourself. Second, rate each one on a scale from flat to vibrant, noting the emotional tone they evoke. Third, choose one flat label to replace and craft a new definition that fuses your core identity with a powerful quality. Write this new phrase on a visible surface and commit to reading it aloud at least twice a day for the next 21 days. Fourth, pair the verbal practice with a small action that embodies the new identity, whether it's a creative sketch, a short workout, or a purposeful conversation. Fifth, enlist a friend or community to hold you accountable and celebrate each micro win you experience. By following this structured approach, you create a feedback loop that continually amplifies your frequency, gradually expanding the timeline of possibilities available to you. Remember, the frequency of identity is not a static setting you flip once and forget. It is a living, breathing dial that you can adjust at any moment. Whenever you notice a slip back into old limiting language, pause, re-anchor with your empowering definition, and let the vibration rise anew. Over time, you'll find that the default mode of your mind shifts toward higher frequency labels, making it easier to stay in a state of growth, creativity, and resilience. As we wrap up, I'd love to hear about the labels you're working on transforming. What old phrase have you decided to retire, and what new resonant definition are you inviting into your life? Share your journey in the comments below. Reading your stories fuels the collective frequency of this community and inspires others to embark on their own transformation. If this discussion sparked a fresh insight for you, go ahead and give this video a like. Your engagement not only supports the channel, but also helps amplify the message, reaching more people who can benefit from reshaping their language. If you feel called to dive deeper into the science of language, the art of self-definition, and practical tools for rewiring your brain, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Each week, we explore a new facet of how words, thoughts, and actions intertwine to create the reality you experience. By staying connected, you'll have a steady supply of strategies to keep your personal frequency tuned to its highest potential. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the frequency of identity. May your words become the bright chords that compose the symphony of your life, and may each label you choose open doors to horizons you once thought unreachable. Keep listening to the vibrations within, keep speaking with intention, and watch as your timeline expands in ways you never imagined. Until next time, stay resonant, stay empowered, and keep shaping your reality with the power of language.